Did you know that some of the most fundamental ideas in modern science, math, and engineering were first developed over 1,000 years ago by Muslim scientists? During the Islamic Golden Age, from the 8th to the 14th century, knowledge was not just respected, it was pursued with passion. Today, we're diving into 3 groundbreaking inventions that came from brilliant Muslim minds, inventions that changed the world forever. This was a time when cities like Baghdad, Cordoba, and Cairo became global hubs of learning. Scholars translated Greek, Persian, and Indian texts, but they didn't stop there. They questioned, improved, and invented. And today, we're highlighting 3 inventions that laid the foundation for modern technology, medicine, and science. Let's start with one of the most foundational tools in mathematics, algebra. Yes, the word algebra itself comes from the Arabic word al-Jabr, taken from the title of a book written in the 9th century by a Persian mathematician named Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. Living in Baghdad during the reign of the Abbasid Caliphate, Al-Khwarizmi worked at the legendary House of Wisdom, a research center where scholars from all over the world gathered to learn and innovate. His book, Al-Kitab al-Muqtasar, fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala, which translates to the compendious book on calculation by completion and balancing, introduced systematic methods for solving linear and quadratic equations. Before this, math was mostly about geometry or simple arithmetic. But algebra gave us a way to solve complex problems using symbols and rules, something every student today uses without even knowing its origin. So next time you see an equation with an x, remember it all started here, in the Islamic Golden Age. Now imagine this over 1,000 years before the Wright brothers took flight. A man in Cordoba, Spain, decided he wanted to fly like a bird. His name? Abbas ibn Firnas, a polymath, poet, and inventor who lived in the 9th century. Around the year 852, he made himself a set of wings covered in feathers and jumped off the minaret of a mosque, hoping to glide like a bird. He didn't quite fly, but he did land safely, thanks to his rudimentary parachute-like design. Some historians believe this was the first recorded attempt at human flight, but the real moment came decades later when he was around 70 years old. Ibn Firnas built a more advanced winged apparatus and launched himself from a mountain near Cordoba. Witnesses said he flew for a while, then crash-landed, breaking his back. Why didn't he fly smoothly? He later admitted he forgot to include a tail like birds have to help control descent. Even though he failed, his dream of flight inspired generations. In fact, centuries later, Leonardo da Vinci studied similar concepts. Today, there's even a crater on the moon named after him, Ibn Firnas crater, honoring the man who dared to touch the sky. Our third invention is something that literally changed how we see the world and paved the way for photography, cinema, and even virtual reality. Meet Ibn al-Haytham, known in Latin as Al-Hazan, a 10th century scientist from Basra who is often called the father of modern optics. Living in Egypt under the Fatimid Caliphate, Ibn al-Haytham challenged ancient Greek theories about vision. He realized that light enters the eye, rather than the eye emitting rays to see objects, a revolutionary idea at the time. He also discovered the camera Obscura, a dark room with a small hole that projects an inverted image of the outside world onto a wall. This principle became the foundation for the modern camera. But he didn't stop there. He wrote a 7-volume work called Kitab al-Manazir, the Book of Optics, which influenced scientists like Newton and Descartes. Ibn al-Haytham also pioneered the scientific method, emphasizing observation, hypothesis, and experimentation. In many ways, he helped shape how science is done today. So the next time you snap a selfie or watch a movie, remember, it all began with a scholar who wanted to understand how light works. These 3 inventions, algebra, the attempt at flight, and the science of light, are just a glimpse into the brilliance of Muslim scientists during the Islamic Golden Age. Their work wasn't just theoretical, it had real impact. Algebra revolutionized math and engineering. Ibn Firnas inspired future aviation pioneers. Ibn al-Haytham laid the groundwork for modern physics and imaging. But perhaps their greatest legacy is this: the idea that knowledge has no borders. and that progress is born from curiosity, courage, and faith. Islam teaches us to seek knowledge from cradle to grave, and these scholars truly lived that teaching. You might be wondering, why does this matter today? Because understanding history helps us shape the future. When we recognize the contributions of Muslim scientists, we inspire new generations to pursue science, technology, and innovation. We also remind ourselves that greatness isn't limited to any one culture or time period. It emerges wherever there's freedom to think, question, and create. So, whether you're a student, a teacher, or just curious about history, take pride in this legacy. Share it. Celebrate it. Because the story of knowledge is everyone's story. If you found this video informative, hit the like button. Leave a comment below telling us which invention surprised you the most. Share your favorite invention from the Islamic Golden Age. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.